BBC Breakfast has been a staple of British morning TV since it debuted back in 1983 as Breakfast Time. BBC Breakfast remains a staple part of many people's morning viewing, with the popular hosts welcoming fans each day with the latest news, political updates and interviews. Since it was launched in the 1980s, several faces have fronted the show. But where are they now? While many have remained household names for their presenting, some have made headlines for other reasons. Today's hosts include Naga Munchetty, Charlie Stayt, Sally Nugent, Nina Warhurst, and John Kay. But several other big names have sat on the signature red sofa throughout the years. The first broadcast of Breakfast Time starred Frank Bowe, Selina Scott, and Nick Ross. Since their days on the show, many others have come and gone. From disgraced exits following sex scandals to relationships with royalty and even a horrific murder, many presenters of the show have ended up making the news themselves. Express.co.uk has rounded up some notable examples. Selina Scott, 72, was among the first presenters of Breakfast Time back in January 1983. She presented alongside Frank Bowe, but hasn't looked back on her days on the show with warmth. In a 2020 interview with The Guardian, she said her co-host would deliberately undermine her and that senior management wouldn't listen to her complaints. She went on to say it had a very sexist atmosphere at that time. Selina formed a friendship with Princess Siana, who, like her, was having problems with the press. Michael Shear, press secretary to the Queen at the time, asked the presenter if she'd befriend the princess. Frank took part in the show's debut alongside Selina. However, his name has been tarnished by scandals which destroyed his career. His fall from grace has been widely documented on screen and in the press after details of his private life were revealed. Frank was sensationally sacked by the BBC in 1988 when the News of the World reported details of his cocaine use and how he had worn lingerie at parties involving prostitutes. Frank died in 2020, and the news was met with many tributes from stars such as Gary Lineker and Jess Stelling. Nick starred alongside Frank and Selina and also launched Watchdog. When Crime Watch made its way to screens in 1984, Nick's hosting of the show made him a household name. In 1989, Nick started presenting BBC Radio 4's Tuesday Morning Phone-In, which was changed from Tuesday Call to Call Nick Ross. He resigned 8 years later, but during his career received an award for Best Radio Presenter of the Year. Astrologer Russell remains a household name for his work with the stars. He is best known, though, for his stints on Breakfast Time, where he presented the All Stars segment from 1983 to 1986. Since then, he's gone on to work similar roles for Good Morning Britain on ITV, as well as This Morning. He has also presented his own shows, and in 2011 took part in Strictly Come Dancing, partnering with Flavia Kekes. He was eliminated in Week 8 of the competition. Nicholas Witchell has worked for the BBC since 1976. 30 years later, he joined the company's Northern Ireland office. He was one of the first presenters of the BBC 6 o'clock news in 1984. He took a slot on The Breakfast Show in 1989, where he stayed for 5 years. Jill Dando presented Breakfast Time, Breakfast News, BBC 1 o'clock news, the 6 o'clock news and Crime Watch during her successful career as a newsreader. On April 1999, Jill, 37, was murdered in a crime that shocked the nation. She was shot dead in broad daylight on her doorstep in a chilling murder. Many have speculated the killing was a professional hit. The mystery of Jill's murder remains unsolved 25 years on, and several documentaries have been made about the presenter.